Everybody knows being in prison ain't the place to be. There's so much more better things in life that you could be doing with your time rather than wasting it while being incarcerated. And when you're locked up, there's so many different things that you're going to hate about being there that I had to drop this video to let y'all know the most things that I hate about being in prison. Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around, I'll bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2, cause violent first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel. I want to tell everybody I hope y'all had an awesome Father's Day for all the fathers that are out there. For all the people you know who still have their father. Happy Father's Day to their fathers as well. For all the people that be getting forgot about when they're in prison. Don't forget, man, that is somebody's dad that's in there. You know what I'm saying? Happy Father's Day to everybody, y'all. Now, for this video here, I'm going to be speaking on what I hated most about being in prison. Alright? I finally decided to drop this video because throughout the years that I've had this YouTube going on, I've had people ask me basically the same question, just in a different way, that leads to something I hated in prison. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, oh, what did you hate when you were in prison? Or what did you not like the most while you were in there? What's one thing about prison that you hated? You know, things like that. So I decided I'll put it all together and just make one video about it. So for this one here, I'm going to be letting y'all know what I hated the most while I was in prison. Okay, now, first things first, it's common sense. One of the major things that, of course, a man is going to hate about being in prison, and it is that there is no females. You understand? You ain't got access to coochie, you know? Now, unless you know you got your talk game right and you know how to finesse, then yeah, you could pull a female officer. You could pull one of the kitchen workers or something like that, you feel me? But 9 times out of 10, the ones that work in the kitchen, them bitches be ugly, you feel me? Big blocks, you know, might have a mole on her face with hair, might have a beard, you know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking as it is a woman, but, you know, that's just what be around. But, of course, being locked up as a man, you're going to hate the fact that there is no females around. You wake up every single day and you're surrounded by nothing but dudes. Nothing but guys. The only females you're going to see is maybe the nurses, maybe classification, maybe some female COs. You know, when you get Vizzo, you get to see other people's loved ones. You get to see your loved ones. That's about it, though. But there is no female, okay? It isn't like you'll have the opportunity to get a female come share that bed with you. You feel me? If you do pull a female, you're going to be fucking her while you're standing up. You're going to have to get it in real quick wherever you can, and that's about it. You feel me? So the touch of a woman, the scent and smell of a woman being there consistently, that's one thing that you're going to hate when you were in prison. And of course, that's one thing that I hated. All right? Another thing that I hated while I was in prison is the fact that a lot of the officers were younger than me. You feel me? So y'all might be like, so what does that got to do with anything? I hate being told when to eat, sleep, and shit and go to bed by someone who is younger than me. You know, it may seem kind of different than what someone else would, you know, think of as something they hate while they're in there. But when a young guard come in, fresh officer, and he just come in there, he a TA. He's trying to become a correctional officer. He's only a TA so far. They like abuse their authority and they act bigger and badder and feel like they're above you because they're telling you what to do. In all reality, it's like, bruh, you just made it out of school. You know what I'm saying? And I always felt some type of way about a younger person telling me what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You feel me? Now, when it comes to like, you know, the stabbings and playing with knives, or how crooked the officers are and stuff like that, of course I'm going to hate that, you know, but I was already adapt to it from the neighborhood that I grew up in, you know, because we had violence growing up. We used to get in the shit, you know. My couple of my charges when I was younger were stab charges, you know what I'm saying? I got sent to a juvenile program for a stab charge. And then our officers in my neighborhood were always real corrupt, real mean, real slimy and grimy. So when I got to prison, it isn't like I had to learn that about the officers. I already had it figured out, and I already was like totally against them and carried myself a certain type of way because I was used to flaw officers from where I'm from. You see what I'm saying? So that was normal. You know what I'm saying? Waking up every single day, smelling piss, you know, having to use the restroom inside of where you sleep at, you know, who's gonna like that? Of course I hated that. You know what I'm saying? You think about it. All you do, you're laying down and you smell people farting, you smell piss, people flushing the toilet. You could be in your cell sleeping, you know, and your bunkie get up, he gotta go piss. When he flushes that toilet, it's gonna wake you up because it's like real fucking loud. You know what I'm saying? The metal doors, when they pop them and slam them, blow, blow. You know, when the locks unlock it, clock, clock. You know, them type of things right there, those little things right there are things that mess with your mind when you're incarcerated. You feel me? And if you're not used to that, when you go there, it's going to aggravate you. It's going to aggravate the shit out of you, you know? And me personally, that shit was aggravating. But I've been in and out of confinement while in the county jail. I've been in and out of confinements when I was in juvenile programs. So I kind of like already knew what it was like being behind all that metal and the noises and the sounds and shit. So I kind of like got used to it at an early age. You feel me? But I definitely hated it about prison. You know, who else wouldn't hate the fact that you can only eat when someone tells you to eat? You can only eat what they allow you to eat. You can't open no refrigerator when you want to. You see what I'm saying? That shit used to be aggravating. You couldn't get something cold when it was hot out. Or you couldn't get something hot when it was cold out. Like, there was ways to like make it to the canteen window and maybe get possibly a hot sandwich when it's winter time, you know? But that's if they let you hit the canteen window. You see, that's if they even open canteen today. You understand? And vice versa, if it's fucking hot out and you want something cold. You know, you want you a cold Coke or a cold Powerade or a fucking ice cream sandwich, a chip round. You know, you're only able to do that if they allow that. You see what I'm saying? So not being able to do what I want, when I want, and eat what I want, when I want, is kind of like one of the major things that play a big part in what I hated while I was incarcerated. But then you think about it. If they allowed all that, if they allowed you to do what you want, when you want, how you want, you know, however much you want and stuff like that, then of course nobody would learn their lesson from being incarcerated, because what the fuck? I could do everything in there that I could do on the streets. But in all reality, you still can. But it's just on you to make it happen. You get what I'm saying? You want lobster, steak, and shrimp? Of course they don't give you lobster, steak, and shrimp in prison unless you're getting a shrimp-flavored soup. But that doesn't mean you can't get lobster, steak, and shrimp while you're in there. You understand? There's ways to make shit happen. There's ways with guards, finessing, you know, money talks, or however you get it done, you know, but it's going to be on you to make it happen. You see what I'm saying? Another thing I hated the most while I was in prison is being away from my loved ones. That's common sense, you know, but not everybody's like that. You'll see some people in prison that don't give two shits what's going on with their loved ones in the streets. They don't never check up on their kids. They don't never see if their baby mama need help. They don't never contact their loved ones on the streets or nothing. Which I know you're supposed to focus on your surroundings and focus on what's going on in your reality. You know, don't have your head stuck in the cloud on what's going on outside them gates, because it's still going to go on regardless. You know, you got to keep a clear mind and focus on what you got going on inside. But there's a difference, because you can still do that while still making sure your peoples on the streets are okay and still missing your peoples, you know? And to me, the way it was when I missed my peoples, it wasn't like, okay, I had kids, you know what I'm saying? And I know they're going to be okay. I know they're going to have more birthdays. They're going to have more Christmases, more all this stuff by the time I get out. We'll celebrate all that shit later. That isn't what I'm talking about when you miss your loved ones. What I'm talking about is my older peoples. You know, like my mom at the time. Rest in peace to her. You know, anybody that's your elderly, anyone that's older, that's who I was missing Okay, because here, the longer I'm gone, the older they're getting. The older they're getting, the closer they are to becoming, gone. You understand? And these are the things that you don't pay attention to when you are getting into shit and getting into trouble. You don't look at it that way. You don't look at it as if your mom's damn near pushing 60 years old and you're out here getting in some shit that carries 15 to 20 years. Yeah, to you it's 15, 20 years. You're glad you didn't get no life sentence. But that could possibly be a life sentence for your elderly, loved one. Your mom could be that old, and to her, that's a life sentence. You catch 20 years, she's 60, She may pull through to 80, but think about it. Not that many people live, like that. You feel me? So that's what I missed when I was gone, And before I went to prison, I lost my old boy, my dad, you know what I'm saying? And me going in and out of the county jail and getting into shit and stuff like that, me being gone in the county for a year, get out, get in trouble, go back another 6 months. I missed so much time with my loved ones while being locked up, and I never thought about it because you got so much stuff going on in your life at that time, and you're only thinking about your surroundings. You're making sure you're okay and you're making it through your bid with nobody killing you, but you stop to think about your older loved ones on the streets. And that's one of the things that I missed while I was gone. And believe it or not, me going to prison brought me and my mom closer than we've ever been in my whole life. You see what I'm saying? So I missed my elderly ones when I was in prison, just like I missed everybody, but mostly my mom, you feel me? And you can't get that time back when it's gone, so you got to think about that, you feel me? You got to think of what you're doing before you land in that shit, because at the end of the day, when they're gone, there's going to be certain things that you wish you could have said that you never got to say, you feel me? Even if you're on good terms and they pass away, you're still going to feel a blank spot that you feel like something needed to be said, something you didn't get to say goodbye the right way. And if you're incarcerated when you lose your loved one, that shit sucks. I've seen it happen to plenty of people. You get what I'm saying? Now, another thing that I hated the most while I was in prison was how when it came to the phones, okay, like they allow you to get on the phone. Yeah, you can get on here and talk, do whatever you got to do and shit like that. But you had a time limit, You think about it, and you're paying for these phone calls. Just like the county jail and everything, you feel me? But it's different. See, in the county jail where I'm at, when you pay like $2 and some change, you get 30 minutes. You get 30 minutes for $2 something. In prison, depending on where you are, and I'm just speaking from the top dollar because I'm from down south and they had me all the way up there in the panhandle. So they had me on the whole other side of Florida. And it was like $2 something, almost $3. You feel me? But it's only 15-minute calls. Which, that's normal, you know what I'm saying, I guess. But my whole thing is, I hated how I got to pay for a phone call and I have a time limit on it. See, on the streets, you pay your phone bill, you know what I'm saying? But 9 times out of 10, people ain't getting phones with minutes on them and shit. Unless that's like a EBT phone or one of the ones from the government or some shit like that. People are getting unlimited text and calling and stuff like that, so you're getting what you're used to. You understand? This is what you're used to. You're used to being able to bang and call and talk or whatever and shit like that. You're not used to being on a time limit. You feel me? Prison with that time limit shit on the phone, that shit sucks. And I've been to some camps to where they didn't even want you banging back through. Even if there was nobody in line after you, they didn't want you hanging up and calling back again. They put a list up and you had to sign the list. You see what I'm saying? And then when you were done, got off the phone, no one else is on the list. All right, well, you're going to have to re-sign the list and wait. Like, what? That's crazy. Why can't I just put my name right there again? You feel me? Like, little things like that is going to make you hate it while you're incarcerated. You understand? Haircuts. Boy, Frog going bald. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like that before I went to prison. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to the haircuts, they don't give a damn about you. They don't care what you look like or nothing. You feel me? And even if you got a good face card with the barber on the compound, or you got a good face card with everywhere you go, them guards will literally take you at any given time. Like at Calhoun, when I was in confinement at Calhoun, when we did showers, they forced us to get our heads shaved every time we walked the showers. You feel me? That's how it was. So, you're sitting there in handcuffs and they got the dude shaving your head. You might know, bruh, he ain't got nothing but a 0. He can't give you no tape. He can't do none of that shit right now. And if he did have different things, he definitely ain't going to be doing that when there's 2 guards standing there with gloves on waiting for him to be done so they can put you in your cell. I hated how they did haircuts when I was in prison. You know what I'm saying? I just hated it because there's certain ways about it. It isn't like, oh, I didn't like to cut my hair or nothing like that. But it was just, for instance, when they're bringing you to the shower in confinement. This is how it was at Calhoun when I was in prison. When they're bringing you to the shower and it's time to get your hair cut, they bring you to the shower, make you jump in the shower a couple minutes, and then when they escort you back to your cell, you're still wet. And then they sit you down and shave your hair so the hair sticks on you. Your hair falls down and sticks on you. And they put you in your cell. And then you're in your sink trying to get all the hair off you and everything. You see, so they kind of like do it to try you. It'd make common sense if they were to like bring you and get your head, yeah, and then, you know, while the shit's all on you, then they put you in the shower a couple minutes. No, they do it the opposite way, just to make it a problem, just to feel like they're trying you. And not to mention, the way that the showers were in the box at Calhoun was totally different than any other camp I've ever been at. When they bring you to the shower, you're not allowed to bring shit with you. Nothing with you but a towel. Right? And when you go there, you walk, boom, you got your hands behind your back, they open the cage, they put you in there, you got to put your boxers that you got on, hang them on the bars of the shower. The little towel that you got is only like a washcloth. It isn't a full-size towel. It's like a regular towel ripped into like 4, and they give 1 per inmate. You see? And then you put that shit on the bars, and then you shower. And then they take one and give you one, which means you got to give them your boxers for them to give you new boxers. They put a piece of soap right there on the bars that you grab. So you could buy it with a little chunk of soap real quick. Boom, you throw that bitch on the ground or do whatever you do. And then when it's time to dry off, they give you the little half a fucking towel. So you're really not getting everything off you. And then you're just doing basically the bottom half so your boxers don't stick to you. You see, and the rest is you're just wet. And then it's so hot in there that you're going to want to keep some water on you because how hot it is. We don't have AC. You feel me? And then next thing you know, they buzz you. You got hair stuck all on you. You see? I hated that. I hated how they did shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was just bullshit. You feel me? Also, another thing I hated while I was in prison was the trays. The food. Now, don't get me wrong. Depending on who it is in the kitchen, who it is back there whipping that shit, if they bang, like Emerald says, if they're back there taking their time and whipping it, then that shit'll be gas. You know, that shit'll be good. It'll be acceptable, and you know, you'll enjoy it. You'll be able to be like, oh, this shit tastes good. You feel me? All the other stuff, you're gonna eat it because you need to eat. You see what I'm saying? And when I first landed in prison, I did a whole 60-day stretch in the box. And every time we'd get our tray, there was mold all in the corners of the pockets where like the vegetables would go or your bread. You know, there was mold. You could literally take your bread and go like that in the corner and it'd be green. You could see it. The tray was all cracked and shit. They probably didn't change the trays for 50 to 60 years. You feel me? And guess what? Soon as I got out of the box, my first day on the compound, when I was back in the dorm that they put me in C dorm. I left all my shit there, said, man, I'm going to chow because it just felt good to walk. You feel me? Just to be out of the box. We walked there, brand new trays. So it was like my first experience in the box. I had it the worst. You know what I'm saying? You could literally like get a decent looking tray, and when you grab it, you're like, oh hell yeah. And then your cake is over here in the corner, and you pick it up, it's all mold from soaking, and then the damn carrot juice done splashed over into the cake or into your bread, and then like got soggy all where the mold was at. You see, the food, that's one thing that to me I felt like if they took their time better or at least cared, it would be more enjoyable. But you know, they wouldn't, because at the end of the day, you know, they don't give a damn what you eat or not. You feel me? Now, one of the main things that I hated the most while being in prison was you meet a lot of cool people while you're in there, okay? And when you leave, it sucks leaving the people that you was really, you know, cool with there, you feel me? That's what sucks. It's like, yeah, you know, I gotta, you know, I gotta go, you feel me? I came in by myself, I'm leaving by myself. But you're gonna end up meeting people that got life sentences. People that got multiple life sentences. Or they might have 3 30-year sentences, you know. People that you will never see again, you know, other than if you get access to hitting them up while they were in prison, you understand? I'm not talking about people that you'll see in a year or two, you know. I'm talking about ones that you got that big boy time. Ones that's their life, you know what I'm saying? That is what they have left while they're here on this earth, you know? And there's some cool ass people that you meet in there, you know? It's not like everybody who is, you know, serving a life sentence, you know, is wrong for why they caught a life sentence, you understand? Like, there's people in there that got less time than people with life sentences, and then people with less time, some of them deserve more time than the person who caught a life sentence. You feel me? Like, yeah, killing is forbidden. People don't like when people kill people, but you never know the reason or the motive behind that. You understand? So there's people you're gonna come across that have messed up charges, you know, like bodies, you know, and shit like that, that you're like, damn, he killed someone, you feel me? But it's so common because you're gonna run into so many people like that down here in the state of Florida while you were locked up that have life sentences and stuff. And you're going to see how cool they truly are, you feel me? And like I said, it sucks when you leave them behind, you know, because here I'm going to go out on the streets, you know, I'm going to live my life. And regardless how cool somebody is, a life sentence is a very long time. So when you get out, you have so many things going on and so much shit coming your way and so much new looking shit that you can't help but to forget, you know, even though you don't intentionally mean to forget, you just can't help it because there's so much stuff. You're back into that fast lane now, you see what I'm saying? And you can't help but to forget a lot of people. And then maybe a month, maybe a couple months, maybe a year or so go by, and then you're like, damn, I wonder what's up with, and then you jot down and you send them a letter. You know what I'm saying? I hated that I had to leave certain people behind. You know what I'm saying? And I also hated some people that I thought were my dogs that I met in there. How, you know, there's truly too many snakes in there, you feel me? So you meet people who are actually snakes, you know what I'm saying? They're like mosquitoes, you know what I'm saying? They try to suck the life out of you, you know what I'm saying? They try to like land on you and be a part of you and try to be a part of everything you do, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that you don't really deal with on the streets that much, because you think about it. If someone tried to, you know, be on your shoulder 24/7 or be your shadow and follow you and look at you for life, look at you like you're their wings, you know what I'm saying? On the streets, you would catch on quickly as hell, because the only person you're going to have around you is your so-called friends, people you actually know. So you'll know if that's what their intentions are. You'll know if that's what they're trying to do, because you know that individual. In prison, you don't know these individuals. You met these individuals in there. You get what I'm saying? They've had years alive already. You know, you grew up with someone on the streets. You know, y'all met when y'all were 5, 6 years old. Now y'all are in your 30s. You know, you know that individual. So you know if he's just around to try to leech off you, or, you know what I'm saying, or try to drag you down with him. You meet someone in prison in your 20s. They've already had 20 years or so to live. That individual is somebody you do not know. You understand? Y'all just met. So y'all could be like this in prison and be friends and so solid and close. And then all reality, you don't know what it is they want. They'll never tell you, even if they're not getting anything from you. You know, you know, just your company alone can be what they want. You see what I'm saying? And they could be using you for that alone, and you would never know it. But you'll feel like, oh, that's really your dog. And then in all reality, it isn't. You see what I'm saying? So I hate how many snakes are inside a prison. You feel me? Because you see people that are your dog one day and then flip on you the next day, or your dog sitting here vibing with you, telling you what this dude said about you, and then he's going and telling that dude what you said about, playing all that little sucker shit, you feel me? That's one thing that I hated about prison, is so much this stuff, just like this. It was like a soap opera inside of a fucking dangerous area. So picture the game Warzone, and there's 100-something people that fly in and everybody's got weapons, but then picture everyone gossiping. You feel me? Literally, because you got people stabbing and killing and dying behind these things. You know what I'm saying? And I hated that shit. I hated how I had to, like, literally sleep with a knife, because not just if someone came to attack me, you know, if they came to attack one of my so-called homeboys, or came to attack my hold down man, or whatever it may be. You feel me? I hated that I had to always make sure, you know, that like I was on my P's and Q's, you know, like I had to make sure at all times that I don't slip, because the moment you slip is when people are gonna try to take advantage. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying this like at any situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had more friends than foes when I was in prison, you understand? Like, if I had to rule it from 100%, talking about the whole compound, I'd say at least 86% of the compound fuck with KFROG. You feel me? And then out of the other percentage, I'd say 15% don't know me. Then the other percent was my foes, was people that I didn't get along with, you see what I'm saying? But prison taught me, you know, that everybody's not really your friend, because out of the ones who were my friends while I was in there, we ain't cool on the streets no more. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of flaws and snake shit going on. That's why I just straight skirt, because, you know, people like to do what they, you know, they try to be mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it leads back to the sliminess inside of prison. You feel me? And I hated that shit. I hate how they got so many different types of characters around you. You understand? Like, they should just segregate it into fucking characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, put people who are all like in this one, people who are all like in that one, people who are all like in that one. But it don't work like that. You see, so I hated that I was forced to hang out with people and meet new people. You know, I was forced to meet everybody, learn about them, figure out what their story is. You know, I had to do all this shit, and I hate that. Because in real life, I don't like to hang out with new people. I don't like to meet new people. You know, I stick to myself. You feel me? And before I went to prison, the same homeboys I had before I went to prison are the same homeboys I'm with till to this day. You see, so it was like me going to prison, meeting a bunch of people. I met handfuls of cool-ass people. But say I met 100 real solid, down-to-earth ones. Out of them 100, there's only like 45 of them now that I still talk to that are still solid. You feel me? But the other ones were solid while we were in prison. You feel me? But after prison, you see what I'm saying? And then I found myself with the same homeboys from the get-go. You feel me? So that's another thing I hated while I was in there. I hated that I had to meet new people. You know, you got to adapt to a new environment. You understand? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this video know exactly what it is I'm speaking on. You feel me? If you've been locked up before, then you already know how it is. You feel me? You might have some different things that you hated, you know, other than the things that I said. Drop it in the comment section. That's what it's there for. You feel me? Straight up. Another thing that I hated while I was in there is we didn't have a light switch. Something as little as turning a light on and off. You feel me? Like, there's things there you don't really care about. You know, it's not like you hate it while you're in there. Like, man, I can't believe I ain't got no light switch, bro. This shit's stressing me out. No, it ain't like that. It's the fact that the little things that you don't even think about when you're on the streets, they end up popping up, and you end up catching on to it when you're going through the situation. You see what I'm saying? You learn to respect and appreciate those little things, like opening a refrigerator. You see what I'm saying? Light switch. You know, your own shower. You know, turn your shower thing on and off. You know, a faucet where you could turn your sink on and keep it running. Not just a button and it shoots out like a little waterfall for fucking 10 seconds and shuts off. Then you got to press it again. You got to press it 3-4 times before you can get the soap off your hands when you wash your hands. You see, there's little things that you learn to appreciate. And then when you get out after going through that process, you're going to learn that you hated that about prison. You're going to learn, I hated that I went through that shit while I was in there. And I did. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. You feel me? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video on up. Like I said, a bunch of people always ask me questions that all kind of like, it's kind of like relates to the same, it's all the same question at the end of the day, it's just as different. So those are the things that I hated while I was in prison. If you related, drop it in the comment section. If there's anything that I missed that you may have hated when you were incarcerated, or that you feel like you would hate, Drop it in the comment section. People are always reading. I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out if you ain't hit it on the way in. Keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers, people with pull-out golds, that finance rims, that lie on YouTube, that live in a fucking trailer. Keep them live in an RV, act like they got money. Keep all them clowns out your circle, because at the end of the day, them motherfuckers gonna be in the same place 10 years from now. Mark my words. Till next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.